beneath towering mountains, beneath endless oceans, beyond every map we've ever drawn. What if there was another world? A lost world, hidden not above the stars, but deep inside the very planet we walk on every day. A place of ancient forests, forgotten creatures, and civilizations untouched by time. It sounds impossible, right? But for centuries, people have asked the same question. Is the Earth hollow? Humans have always been driven by one thing: the need to discover the unknown. We've crossed oceans, climbed the highest peaks, even launched ourselves into space. But there's one mystery that has stayed close, literally right under our feet. Since ancient times, different cultures believed that something incredible was hiding underground. A secret world, a place where lost souls traveled, or where gods once ruled. A gateway to paradise, or sometimes to something far darker. Today, science tells us the Earth is solid, but the stories, the legends, they never went away. In fact, they've only grown stronger. Think about it. The ancient Greeks spoke of Hades, a whole kingdom beneath the earth. The Vikings had Niflheim, a land of ice and mist hidden below. Tibetan monks whispered about Shambhala, a secret city of enlightenment. Christianity described a fiery underworld, and Native American tribes spoke of ancestors who emerged from deep within the earth. Across every culture, across every continent, the same idea: there's something beneath us. And then, in the 1600s, a scientist decided to take that idea seriously. Sir Edmond Halley, the same man who predicted Halley's comet, proposed something that seemed crazy even back then. He suggested that Earth might actually be hollow. Not just empty space, but layers. Layers inside the planet, each spinning on its own, each maybe even with its own atmosphere. He even imagined light sources down there. Maybe even life. Halley didn't call it fantasy, he called it science. And in his time, there were real mysteries that needed explaining, like why compasses didn't always point perfectly north. So maybe, just maybe, there was something real going on inside the Earth. Fast forward 100 years later, and things get even crazier. An American Army officer named John Cleves Symmes Jr. took Halley's idea and ran with it. He didn't just think Earth was hollow. He believed there were massive, wide-open entrances at the North and South Poles, giant holes you could fly a ship through. He was so sure of it. He printed flyers, gave public talks, and even tried to convince Congress to fund an expedition. And believe it or not, he almost succeeded. President John Quincy Adams actually supported the idea of sending an expedition to the poles. But before it could happen, Andrew Jackson took office and the plan was scrapped. Symmes died before he could prove anything. But his ideas stuck around. Later explorers like Jeremiah Reynolds and even the legendary Admiral Byrd kept the dream alive. Reynolds sailed to Antarctica looking for hidden lands, and Byrd, when he flew over the poles, would become the center of a whole new wave of hollow Earth theories. Some even claim Byrd saw strange lands beyond the ice, vast green valleys where there should have only been frozen wasteland. But before we dive into the myths around Byrd, let's talk about what science found while chasing the truth. Because modern science, it tells a very different story. Today, scientists have a pretty solid idea of what's inside our planet. Thanks to earthquakes, we've been able to map Earth's interior without even drilling that deep. Seismic waves from big quakes move differently depending on what they pass through. By tracking them, scientists discovered layers: a thin crust, a massive rocky mantle, a molten outer core, and a solid inner core made mostly of iron and nickel. No giant empty spaces, no underground continents, no hidden suns. Gravity measurements also match this structure perfectly. If Earth were hollow, gravity would feel totally different. It's just not what the numbers show. Drilling projects like the Kola super deep borehole in Russia went over 12 kilometers down, the deepest we've ever gone, and found nothing but rock, heat, and more rock. So scientifically, the hollow Earth theory doesn't hold up. But if science ended the story, we wouldn't still be talking about it, would we? Because while scientists closed one door, storytellers opened another. Writers in the 1800s and 1900s turned the hollow Earth into legend. Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth imagined explorers finding a prehistoric world beneath Iceland, with dinosaurs, underground oceans, and glowing skies. Simsonia, based on Symmes' ideas, told of a hidden utopia deep inside the Earth. Willis George Emerson's The Smoky God described a Norwegian sailor who sailed into the hollow Earth and met giant beings living under a warm inner sun. Edward Bulwer-Lytton wrote about the Vrilya, a super-advanced underground race who used a mysterious energy called vril to power their world. And John Uri Lloyd's Etidorpa mixed spiritual awakening with a literal descent into an inner realm. These weren't just random fantasy novels. They were part of a bigger cultural fascination. The idea that maybe, just maybe, we hadn't discovered everything yet. Some people even claimed to have actually seen hollow Earth with their own eyes. Olaf Jansson, the sailor from Emerson's The Smoky God, said he and his father sailed through an opening at the North Pole into a land of giants and lush landscapes. Later, wild rumors popped up about Admiral Byrd. Some said he flew over the South Pole, entered a hidden world, and met beings who warned humanity about the dangers of war and destruction. The problem? There's no real evidence that any of this ever happened. Official records from Byrd's missions show nothing about hidden civilizations or giant entrances. But the lack of proof didn't stop the legends from spreading, because honestly, the descriptions of what's supposed to be inside Hollow Earth are absolutely incredible. Imagine standing in a land where the sky curves above you. Not a blue sky, but a golden mist, lit by a glowing sun at the center of the planet. Forests so tall, they seem to stretch into forever. Rivers that flow gently through endless valleys. Mountains arching up and meeting themselves, forming a continuous horizon. The whole world feels upside down, timeless, untouched. And inside this hidden paradise, civilizations, beings taller than humans, with glowing skin and advanced technology, vehicles that float effortlessly, no pollution, no noise, medicine that cures diseases we can't even treat, communication done through thoughts, not words, a society living in peace, not because they had to fight for it, but because they never lost it to begin with. Some stories say these beings are the original protectors of Earth, watching us from below, waiting, maybe waiting for the right moment to reappear, or maybe hoping we never find them at all. And even today, the Hollow Earth theory refuses to disappear. In the age of satellites and high-tech exploration, you'd think every corner of our planet is fully mapped. But online communities, conspiracy forums, and even some alternative researchers keep the story alive. Some claim there are entrances in Antarctica, hidden under layers of ice, guarded by secret treaties. Others believe that governments around the world know the truth, but are keeping it from us to avoid mass panic. There are wild theories that some UFOs aren't visitors from distant galaxies, but from civilizations deep beneath our feet. There's even talk about ancient tunnels stretching from the Himalayas to the Amazon rainforest, connecting entrances to a massive underground network. Most of these ideas don't have real evidence backing them up, but they share one thing in common: a belief that the world we know isn't the full story. Now imagine for just a moment that Hollow Earth was real. Imagine stepping into a warm polar breeze, where there should only be bitter cold, sailing through a giant entrance into a hidden world no satellite has ever photographed. A second Earth, inside the first. You'd see mountains stretching into the misty curve of the sky, forests thicker and wilder than anything on the surface, creatures we thought extinct, roaming free under a soft golden sun, and perhaps ancient civilizations watching us, wondering if we're finally ready to join them. If Hollow Earth were real, it would change everything. History, religion, science, everything we thought we knew about life. It would mean that Earth's greatest secret was never out among the stars. It was right here, hidden in plain sight. But based on everything we know today, the measurements, the seismic maps, the gravity studies, Earth is solid. There are no giant hidden worlds beneath us. Still, the Hollow Earth legend survives. Because deep down, it's not really about whether there's a city of giants beneath Antarctica. It's about something else. It's about wonder. It's about hope. It's about believing that even in a world mapped by satellites and drones, there might still be places left unseen. We are explorers. It's who we are. It's who we've always been. And maybe that's why the Hollow Earth story continues to echo through history. Because even if science says no, our imagination says, but what if? Even if the Earth isn't hollow, our curiosity certainly is. And maybe, just maybe, that's the greatest treasure of all. That wonder still lives.